Alright, hello, this is Dogcesy. I'll be talking about the current standard banner, the current standard banner right now. Yeah, the one getting this 5 operates. Because my friend wants to hear about it. Because my friend enjoyed the previous one for some reason. Yeah, sure, so why not? Since I also have used all 5 for the operators, so I also guess I'll talk about it. Talk about that. Right, so first turn, an operator I have max trust but has still barely used because I put her in the base for a very long time without actually using her in the actual game. But yeah, I've since started to use her a lot. I mean, she she isn't the best per se, but she is decently good enough, I guess, to be outright honest. But yeah, so she's a dual strike guard, meaning attack does twice, which isn't a lot, I guess, since her base attack by itself isn't the highest. 760. Yeah, so as per usual, for I'll talk about it based on their E2 level 30, as per usual. So yeah, 1.5 really isn't a lot compared to like, is it, Astesia, like operators like Astesia, I guess. I'll compare the stats. Even at the same level, Astesia has higher attack, and she's doing us damage. This, based on the Arknights damage calculation, is generally better. So even it does attack, even though it does stack twice, it really isn't that much damage because the fact that she's a physical attacker, so meaning the enemy's defense will be applied twice, which means she's doing even less damage. Cause the defense, unlike arts damage, attack, unlike arts attack, physical defense is subtractive. Meaning the normal damage you do is subtracted, unlike arts, which is a percentage base. So yeah, I'm rambling a lot. Whatever. So yeah, I guess I'll talk about like the main reason I see most people actually use her for is for her skill 2 M3. Cause you can immediately use it. The initial you have her full skill charge up just immediately from deployment. So because of that, you basically only need the first two potentials are the most beneficial, I guess, to be all honest. The third is a good one, but he's already doing big damage with skill 2, so the extra 23 attack really won't do too much. Second talent enhancement is, I guess, good, but same as this one, the extra 1% generally won't do much. And the defense and physical evasion really isn't that useful for most people. Like I said, people just use her as a panic button, per se, I guess. Things are leaking, put down her skill, just use her skill to retreat back up. That's what I've seen like some of my other friends, not the friend who requested this, but some of my other friends who play Arknights, it's basically how they use Chen. I mean I understand why, but it's kinda sad to me. Because I don't really like retreating them too much. I don't really like retreating the operators too much per se, so it's kinda dead I guess, but yeah. As well because of the cost. Just you costing a lot just to do that. But I do kinda understand because it's actually long. Because all of our attacks are actually offensive recovery. So meaning she only recharge it whenever she attack. But the thing is right, she only recharge it recharge one every 1.3 seconds and there is someone for her to attack. The SP recovery doesn't stack twice even though because it counts as her only when he recharges SP when she attacks, not when she deals damage. Not when the attacks land. So she will only do one instance of damage, but the damage is dealt twice to the enemy, if you understand what I mean. So because of that, even though she's like a dual strike guard per se, she only gains the. Should probably shrink it a bit. Maybe this will be better. Yeah, okay. So even though can you see smaller though now? That's weird. I'll leave it 100%. Yeah, so even though she attacked twice, she she doesn't gain the SP up fast enough per se. So because of that, like I said, the skills are very inconsistent. And Chen's like the bulk of her strength is in her skills. So that is the issue I have with her. So not only she also got this one. She also got her what is it module I think it's called. She also got her module. I actually don't know what it does. Additional trait. It's in Chinese. Uh, uh, Shit. This is the why I had to retake my Chinese. Think it's skill damage. I think it takes additional 10% skill damage if I'm not wrong. Yeah. So yeah, and then even for a third skill, there's still a 10 SP difference between that. So I feel like I usually don't M3 my. Even right now, I only have two operators. This M3. One is Aya and one is Murder. I don't M3 my operators a lot because of the cost. It costs a lot to M3 operators. I'm already struggling to E2 them. Like I built every character. I built all my characters to E1 max. Like I built all my operators to E1 because I like to play with a lot of operators. So I have trouble E2ing them. Yeah, it's my own problem. Nothing wrong with it, but yeah. Yeah, that's the issue with her. Her skills take very long. Even her talent doesn't really help out much because it's once every 4 seconds. It, it doesn't help out much to be honest. That's the main issue with her. The main bulk of her strength comes with her skill, but her skill downtime is very long. So that is the biggest issue with her. And then her module didn't help out. Sure, I guess that 10 extra damage is nice, I guess. So from 500 to 510, but yeah, doesn't really change the fundamental issues that people have with her, which is why people use her as like a panic button, skill 2 panic button. Sorry, I hit my mic. uh, yeah, yeah, but if you want to get her for waifu reason, I guess. I actually really like E2 art and the skin art as well. I like both of them actually. That is the only reason why you may want to use her for waifu reasons, I guess. But otherwise, she really isn't a big priority to get. To be quite honest. Yeah, so more or less, I guess. So yeah, let's talk about Mostima next. Then shall we? Mostima, an AoE caster. If you've been playing Undead for quite some time, you know that generally AoE casters isn't that strong because of this because of these two. The high cost as well as the long attack time. Interval, I think no, I actually don't know. I think it should be a attack interval. Is it? I don't know. But yeah, both because of that. AoE casters are generally not that strong because of their high cost and high attack interval, which is the same for Mostima. Sure, she may have a high attack, but their main purpose is to clear out swarms of mobs. But because of how slow her attack interval is, unless you have like something to block, maybe defenders, they're generally not that useful. To be honest, that is the inherent issue with a lot of AoE casters. So yeah, and I'll talk about the potentials right now. The first in the six potential are actually pretty much the most beneficial one, was in reducing the deployment costs. So from 34 with no potentials to deployment cost of 32. I really should my math shouldn't be that bad. To 32 at max port, which isn't much, but it is very beneficial. I guess I'll talk about her talents. I guess so when she's on the field, all casters operators the auto SP recovery rate is increased by 0.4. So from 1 SP per second to 1.4 SP per second, which is actually very useful. But the thing is, right, because of to I don't know why, but to make up for it, the developers, Hypergriff, to compensate for this talent, they make her skill 2s and skill 3 take forever to charge up. You see this SP cost? What the Yeah. So support, I guess. Just use her for support. Same for that. For the second talent, the movement speed of enemies within attack range is reduced, which is actually useful. That is specifically mentioned that it's movement speed. It's not like applying like sluggish stuff for that. So yeah, because like this multiples of the same effect cannot stack. So like even if two supporters attacking the same enemy, the slow will not stack because it's considered as like the supporter slow status. Whereas volatility is specifically mentioned as movement speed, so that it will stack with like the supporter slow, which 50% really isn't that much compared to supporter slow, which is 80%, but you get the idea, I guess. But yeah, I'll talk about skills right now. Skill one, which is basically the standard skills, just increase attack, which is actually surprisingly from what I've seen, from what I've experienced myself, is actually surprisingly decent. From what I've heard from my friends, it's actually surprisingly decent due to how due to the uptime. So CS, you can basically have the skill active for like 50% of the time that she is on the field. But it's actually not the worst because compared to like skill 2 and skill 3 where there's a very long downtime. So I mean it's still not good because of Mostima's slow attack speed, but it's actually surprisingly usable. Yeah, it's one of my friends that he finds skill 1 actually surprisingly usable, but you know lava will do better in this case, but because of the lower SP cost. But you know if you want to, you can have a glorified lava with her, I guess. Yeah, but generally lava will be better because of lava's higher initial SP and as well as lower cost. But yeah, I guess so. It's actually usable, yes. Skill 2, which is actually the skill I have the most experience with. Basically, all enemies within a range will be stunned for however long the skill is, as well continuously doing us damage per second, which is actually very good because compared to the two partner, you're now doing damage every second, which is actually very useful here. But you know, the skill uptime is kind of basically just neuters any usage of this skill off the planet. It's very inconsistent. Actually don't know like the percentages. I haven't really bothered looking up. But yeah, the skill uptime is very low. Because of that, you don't really see a lot of people using it. But it is the skill I have the most experience with. And there has been a couple of times where the stun actually has helped me out. Though there is something to talk about, I guess. But yeah, also not that good. Second, the third skill, not second, thirdly, her third skill, expanding her attack range to this, as well as increasing attack, and then increase the talent 2, which is a slow effect, by 50% to 3 times it. So if at port 1 or no port, at no ports, or change it from 15 to 45%. And then if port 5, 18 times 3, what's 18 times 3? Wait, let me just check. What's 18 times 3? I actually don't remember. Okay, I'm gonna bring up my first calculator. 18 times 3, let's go. It's 54%. Okay. We'll change it to 54%, which is actually very beneficial. Oh, since both the attack because the attack range also increases. And yeah, in case you don't remember the talent, it affects all enemies within her attack range. So it's actually very useful. Which also this one, I guess, her attacks also does change to a true AoE attack, where she affects everyone within her range, and also having a small amount of push, I guess, or shift if you want to call it, I guess some people, which is useful, I guess, for extra stalling. But yeah, it's completely neutered by the high SP cost, to be honest. 110 for 24-second uptime. Actually, it's technically not 110 because you do have it, but I'm not gonna bother calculating what is the true SP downtime. But yeah, it's kind of like the same for both of the 6-star operators. Uh, the skill is very strong, but it's completely neutered by the fact that the skills take forever to charge up. It's kind of sad, to be honest. They both have their own like niches, but yeah, I guess they're both not high priorities. If you want a 6-star AoE caster, Dusk would be a better choice. Though Dusk is a limited operator, so I don't think everyone would have her. Yeah. I like her skin, by the way. Looks very nice. Yeah. I guess I'll move on. Alright, Meteorite. Operator I'm currently transforming. But yeah. Just talk about stats first, I guess. We'll talk about stats first. Actually, wait, what? Actually, the same attack. Oh, I actually did not realize that. Peter actually has the same attack as Mostima at E2 level 30. While also having a 0.1 faster attack speed and a lot lower cost. Oh, okay, it's just make it even more obvious why AoE snipers are better. The increased range. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay, let's think. Let me recover first. Okay, okay. Uh, yeah. Yeah. Same attack as Mostima apparently. But yeah. There's a lot of people generally say that AoE snipers are actually better than AoE casters. If this is not obvious enough, they have very similar stats, costing less, having greater range and having a 0.1 faster attack speed, which isn't much, but over the duration, like maybe for Annihilation, it can really start to rack up the extra 0.1 seconds. So yeah, let's talk about Tenon, I guess. When attacking or using skills, okay, there's a 30% chance to increase attack by 60%. So instead of doing 100, there's a 30% chance of doing 160. Not bad, but nice, I guess. It's RNG based, so I guess as per usual, don't rely on it. Let's see, skill 1, which I'm pretty sure is what people call her bread and butter skill. It's increased pressure. Yeah, I've noticed. I use it quite a lot right now, but yeah, and then doing extra 170%. So I guess it means when she's using her skill attack, it can also affect trigger the talent, I guess. That's useful, I guess. So they does big damage and has a chance to do even bigger damage. Good to know of, I guess. But yeah, primarily is what people will say is like the skill that most people use. Because has a low SP cost of 4. Yeah, and it's even better if Archeto, which I do have. So yeah, and then skill 2, which I actually haven't really used much. So immediately when you it's a manually triggered skill, but when you trigger it, you immediately fire a flame bolt. So it's kind of like Pinecone skill 1, I guess. Dealing 240% damage to all enemies within the attack range. Attack range of the attack or of her. I guess if I guess it will be the flame bomb, I guess. Oh, defense down for the next 10 seconds, which is about like 3 attacks, 4 attacks? 3 attacks, right? Yeah, which is about 3 attacks from Meteorite. Useful, I guess, actually. But the SP cost of 23. Oh, but it is per second instead of per attack, I guess. I'm not sure, I guess. People say that the skill 1 is used more is stronger, and I found the skill 1 to be more useful. Based on me, currently using her, transforming her. Uh, but yeah, I can see the extra defense could be useful for certain maps for Meteorite. Though I'm pretty sure Ifrit would be better here, wouldn't she? Give me a word. The Ifrit is the same, right? Her skill 2 also decreases defense, if I'm not wrong. Right, if I'm not wrong, Ifrit skill 2 also decreases defense. Yeah, the skill 2 also decreases defense. I guess that's something, I guess. And it also has better uptime and more damage. But it does last for a shorter time, 23 seconds instead of the 10 seconds. I guess so. Okay. I guess has a niche, I guess, but I guess you generally will be using a skill 1. Yeah, I think that's about it. Oh yeah, my friend really likes the skin apparently. Because according to him, the Meteorite skin is actually the first skin he bought. Okay, I guess. Because before then he was using his OP just specifically only for their husband packs, and hasn't bothered buying any skins beforehand. And I actually don't have a skin. I don't know. Her skin has not rerun since I joined, so that's something I guess. Actually, has it rerun? I don't know. I don't have a skin. I just don't have a skin. So yeah, that's the thing. But yeah, it does look decent, I guess. Alright, move on. Leizi. Operator also like jump in between transforming and not. Yeah. So Leizi is a chain caster. I'm pretty sure there isn't much. There is also passenger, and there's also like think there's someone else. Think what's her name? Pudding I think is the 4-star chain caster that's currently only CN. But yeah, there really isn't much chain casters currently in the game. So yeah, I guess I'll talk about the trait. They do us damage and the attacks can chain up to 4 or 3 if it's E0 or E1, while inflicting slow to them. And for each jump, the damage will do reduced by 15%. So for example, the first enemy it will do 100, the next enemy it will only do 85. The second enemy I'll say, the first enemy will do 100, then it will jump to the second enemy it will do 85, and then it will jump to the third enemy where it will do 70, and then it will jump to the fourth enemy where it will do 55, or only 55% of attack. Okay, it's kind of damning, I guess. So generally, if you want AoE casters, will be better, because uh, Lazy got module. Okay, I guess did not know about that. I really never bought. I haven't really catch up much with EC and stuff. Generally isn't that which people will generally even choose to go for AoE casters because yeah, their attack is lower than them, have similar costs, and has somewhat similar attack speed. I mean, yeah, 0.6 second is a big difference, but the damage numbers is very much. The damage numbers is very big difference. So generally, your AoE casters will still do more damage. But the only reason why you may want to use a chain caster over an AoE caster is either for the slow, which they do inflict, yeah, 80%, either than the slow, or for the increased range, both from the increased attack range as well as the fact of the chaining, which means that she can attack someone within the attack range and the attack can chain to someone outside of Leizi's attack range. Those are pretty much the only two reasons why you may want to use her over an actual AoE caster. Which I guess is a niche, but why? Yeah, I guess it is a niche. Uh, what about talent? When attacking unblocked enemies, deal 120%. Okay, so I guess it's useful because she does also inflict slow, so there is a less reliance on defenders compared to AoE casters, I guess. Sure, I guess, but okay. skill 1, which is a generic attack buff with a good skill uptime. Okay, around 45 percentage ish. Okay, that's good. And even then 50-50 for memory, I guess. Yeah, okay. So same as Mostima's skill 1. I generally haven't found much use for it because her skill 2 is a lot more better. A lot more attack increase. And then the attacks, the bounce, no longer have the reduced damage. The 50%. There's no longer damage reduction between each bounce. I mean, sure, the skill uptime is a lot less, but it's a lot more useful actually. I found, based on my personal experience using her. So yeah, that's that, I guess. What else do I want to talk about, Leizi? Really isn't much to be honest. Actually, let me check out the module first. Oh, from 0.5 to 0.8 seconds slow. I guess that's useful. 10% reduction only. I guess that's nice. So, what is it? Increase attack. It's not 55 is not much too, but I guess it's nice, I guess. But yeah. Generally also, I mean she's nice to have to play around with as Chaincaster. But not a high priority to try to get, I guess, to be honest. Meteorite is good to have, I guess, but Shrayuki and Catapult can generally do her job. I guess I never talk about that, but yeah. Astesia. Let's talk about Astesia. To be honest, I really like her art. It's very beautiful. It looks very nice. Very beautiful and gorgeous. All her art. D1 art, D2 art, the skins. Okay, I haven't bought the skin yet. I need to buy the skin. Okay, sure, okay, good. Whoa. Actually, reminding me, I haven't bought the skin yet. I didn't have the OP in the first run. Do I even have the OP right now? Yeah, I guess I'll check later. I need to buy a skin. It's reminding myself. Astesia. I believe this is Zyraton's favorite operator, if I'm not wrong. Astesia is. I could be wrong, but yeah. An Asgard, right? An Asgard. Same as Surtr and Sideroca. As well as Mouse, I think. As well. Yeah, Mouse. Yeah. These are stats. Generally, the only thing I would say that could be putting her back is the SP cost. The high, not SP cost. DP, the relatively higher DP cost of her. Of not Sideroca. Astesia. Oh shit. I need to slow down. I really need to slow down. Can't rush because I have limited space. I need to slow down. But okay, yeah. Attack may be relatively low, but it's actually quite okay. Because she's doing us damage, which the damage formula is generally more forgiving towards. And I guess I'll check out her potentials. Defense actually is useful because she's considered defense. And if it's not clear, from the fact that her defense is actually quite decent, 351, and having also decent attack. Okay, defense is also further buffed by her talent. Not talent, trust. Yeah, as well as her skills, because both her skills raises her defense as well. So yeah, she's really more defensive. And I guess I'll talk about talent. Every 20 seconds after deployment, so meaning while she's deployed, increases her attack speed, which stacks up to 5 layers. So up to attack speed of 25, like increase attack speed of 25, I guess. Oh yeah, attack interval, attack speed, like attack speed, attack interval, and attack per second is different. If you want to watch, I guess go check out Cookie Kaze's one. I'll go find the video later. I'll link it in the description where he'll talk about it. I guess if you want to know, if you want to learn about it, but generally just know that she will attack faster. After every 20 seconds of deployment. It's similar to Saria, I guess, but Saria gives attack and defense. But yeah, actually a nice skill, to be honest. Yeah, I guess I'll talk about skill 1. At skill rank 7, because that's what I usually stuff. Increase attack by 40% and defense. So increase attack defense. And also having around a 45-ish% uptime. And 50, right? And 50 M3. Nice, I guess, to be honest. It's actually very nice. but you generally won't be using it because her skill 2 is generally better. But I guess you will use it over her skill 2 if you want the better uptime. Because compared to like around 50%-ish, the skill uptime has around, how much is it? 33%-ish, I guess. So yeah, it goes around half to 1/3 of the time only. But skill is generally much better. They both increase attack and defense, but whereas for this time, she gains an additional block count for 1 to 2, or even more if you're playing IS and have the proper artifacts. And then attacks, and then making her a AoE guard, where she attacks enemies equals to her block count. Very strong. And do I need to say anything else? It's actually a very strong. It's actually a very strong skill. I actually don't know what else to say, to be honest. Yeah, generally, they're all very strong, but they all have their niche. Because to be alright honest, Surtr is much better. If you're gonna talk about it, I guess I'll bring out Surtr right now. Yeah, I'll bring out Sideroca first. And then I'll bring out Surtr. Sideroca, there we go. Thank you very much, Sideroca. And then I'll bring out Surtr right now, I guess. Yeah. So for Sideroca phase, she's considered survivor DPS. Because instead of the increased defense that Astesia gains, bring it down first. Sideroca heals herself. Yep. Both with skill 1 and skill 2. That actually does help out. So the kind of like the difference between Sideroca and Astesia is the fact that Sideroca can hold the lane down herself if her block count is actually no, she can't really because of her 1 block count, but if block count isn't if the enemy spawn is staggered enough, Sideroca can actually hold down her lane herself without the need of a medic. She will constantly recover on HP. Whereas Astesia would generally actually do better than most bosses, because bosses generally has high attack but slow attack speed. Astesia will generally survive better against the bosses, but you need a healer nearby her in order to help sustain herself. But she doesn't have any form of healing by herself. So yeah, what's Sideroca's stat? Oh, also attack speed and resistance. Ooh. Oh nice, I actually did not know that was the case. Because mine is E0, mine is E0, my Sideroca's E0, I actually did not know that. Oh, okay, that's actually nice I guess. Alright, that's kind of like the two different things. Astesia is generally stronger than Sideroca, but she can't hold the lane up by herself without healing, at least not for long. Whereas Sideroca can do so because she has constantly recovery from her skills. And Surtr is just considered DPS. But, you know, her second talent, which actually does help out for survivability. I'll talk about Surtr some other time I guess, but shall I talk about Surtr? I don't know, maybe, if you guys want maybe I can make another video just talking about Surtr, but can you know that if you want, you know, basically Astesia skill 2 but better, use Surtr skill 2. To be honest, just all I can say to be honest. Have similar uptime of around 30-ish%, while having increased attack, having even more attack based off a even higher base attack as well, even, if I'm not wrong. 586 and 580, yeah, 6 more. Which is actually even more cause her attacks ignore ice resistance. But yeah, so basically, it's kind of sad to they're both completely overshadowed by that. Survivability, not necessary. Surtr has a talent too. Die on mouse, I know you're old. Yeah, it's kind of sad that Surtr just basically overshadowed both of them. If you yeah. It's kind of sad, but yeah. If defense is not an issue, Surtr skill 2 is a lot more better than Astesia even. Oh yeah, that's kind of the thing. If you have Surtr, there really isn't a real reason to go for Astesia, unless you want the defense. Because do take note, for Surtr's talent, upon receiving fatal damage, she'll continuously just prevent the HP from dropping below 1. But the thing is, right, even if you heal after you heal her up to max health, even after she drops down to 1 within the 8 seconds, she will still be immediately automatically retreated from the battlefield. So that is an issue. So in terms of like one-time survivability, Surtr is better than Sideroca, but in terms of long-time survivability, Sideroca is still better. So that is something I guess, but generally Surtr is better than both Sideroca and Astesia. So there really isn't a much reason to go for any of them. It's kind of sad to be honest. It's kind of sad. Yeah. I guess I should wrap things up. Yeah, I guess I just wrap things up now. I know. It's kind of sad. Astesia is overshadowed by Surtr, but there is a niche for her. But wrap things up now. So for Chen, not a high priority. All 5 of them are not high priorities to get. Because Chen, her best use case needs a lot of investment in. Because you need to both E2 her as well as get a skill 2 to M3. Where she can be used as like a emergency burst damage heavy drop. But otherwise, generally, she is okay, decent I guess. I've seen also. Her talent is actually very useful for other operators like Meteorite here, as well as like I don't know. What did I use? I used Donna skill 2, Estelle skill 2, which both of them are DP recovery. Mount skill 2 as well. Yeah, generally, to be honest, generally people either use her for talent or for skill 2 M3 as an emergency heli drop. So, to be honest, not a high priority because of the investment you need to get her up, to use her in the best, use her to a best potential, the best case. So not a priority. Same for Mostima, because she just doesn't do much. Skill uptime percentage is very low. So if you really want an AoE caster, even Lava will do better than her in most case scenarios. So also not a high priority to get or build. Meteorite, I'll probably say is perhaps actually the best operator out of this entire banner, to be all honest. But generally she really isn't that useful. Because in most cases, Catapult and Shirayuki can actually like do her job. So there's that I guess. So generally she's also not a high priority to build. Leizi. Chain casters are generally not that strong because they also do suffer similar issues with AoE casters. And generally AoE casters will do a better job at dealing art splash damage than chain casters do. Alright, and Astesia. Very strong arts guards, but is overshadowed by Surtr. She does have a niche where she does gain with her skill activated. She does have more defense by physical survivability than Surtr does. That is pretty much the only reason why you use it, and also because even the DP cost, they have similar DP costs. So yeah, the only reason why you may use Astesia over Surtr skill 2 is for the extra defense, which isn't much, but it is still a niche I guess. Extra maybe for attack speed I guess, but yeah, overshadowed by Surtr. It's kinda like that. Basically, don't pull on the banner unless you want for waifu reasons I guess. Maybe you can still pull if you want for waifu, but if you want to talk about like whether the operators are good or not, none of them are like top priority. I mean, all operators are good. All operators have their own niches, but in terms of general content, just like in general, none of the 5 operators in this banner is a priority to build or have. So yeah, that's basically my thoughts about it. This is Dogcesy. I will not be pulling on the banner because I actually have all 5 of them. nicely enough, I guess. I have all 5 of them. Mostima's from recruitment as well, though. I actually did not get it from headhunting. I got lucky with a top EOE top operator. I actually would have preferred Ifrit, but I guess it was still nice to get a new operator. Yeah, oops, sorry, I hit my mic again. Yeah, yep, that's basically it. Not top priority, but if you want for waifu reasons, go ahead and pull, I guess. Who am I to tell you not to pull? But if you ask me about my opinions, this is not a priority banner to pull on. Yeah. Right, this has been Dogcesy. Bye bye.